Hi, I'm Corey Miller, and my wife Cookie and I will be joining the Tampa Bay staff team in the near future, and it will be a privilege to sit down together in person. But until then, I'm super psyched to introduce you to this section tonight that you're going to be reading, which is found in Matthew's chapter 5 and is a part of the Sermon on the Mount. So a couple things I want you to know, and then a couple things I want you to think about as you're reading. So a couple things I want you to know is that Matthew does a really great job teaching us who Jesus was and what he was about. And there's a section in chapter 4 that then again is repeated in chapter 9 that says that Jesus came throughout all the areas, preaching the good news of the kingdom and healing the sick. So right off the bat, we jump into chapter 5 where we get a good sample of what Jesus' teachings were. So teaching the good news of the kingdom of God is put right in front of us after this statement, and we see Jesus teaching for several of the chapters that Matthew wrote. So then you guys specifically are going to sit down and jump into chapter 5 towards the end, where it's this section of Jesus saying, "You have heard it said, but I say to you." And it really resembles this challenge that he gives in the beginning of chapter 5, where he says, your righteousness actually needs to surpass those who teach you the law, that there's a righteousness that is beyond those that they look up to as righteous. So it's really this section of Jesus pushing into the deep parts of our hearts and seeing where we actually need transformed rather than just our ability to adhere outwardly to rules and laws and standards. So he gets to this section that you jump into. You have heard it said to love your neighbor and hate your enemies. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. And it goes on and on. So as you read, a couple of things I want you to think about is, one, if you've heard these statements before or you've heard this word before, I ask that you come with an open eye and an open ear to where it might want to read you. And just because you're familiar with it, you may have not let it transform you in your heart to the way you respond to those who are harsh towards you. So that's the one, is be open to it and its ability to transform you and to look to God for mercy and grace and transformation. And the second thing is I want you to look for, like the first, an invitation for mercy here. There is an invitation in this section to receive God's mercy for where your own heart stands, as well as for that to transform your heart in an ability to give mercy. So anyway, love you guys. I wish I could be there in person, and I hope that tonight's word, or time in the word, is luscious and beautiful and transforms the way you live your life. Bye.